フランスの革命記念日とかっていう旗日でお休みならしいので、今日はフランスを飛ぶみたいです。
17 knots. Now
飛行機はちょっと迷いましたけど、結局エクストラのこの飛行機にしました。この飛行機乗りやすいで気分がいいです。これは同じ飛行機の色違いですね。だいぶ雰囲気が変わりますね。あれ、前に人が乗ってる、あれ。二人乗りにもできるんだ。
I still have the most trouble with the Mustang.
もう離陸していきますな。
Yeah, or the Spitfire is the one yesterday.
wow. Even trying to get shelter can actually be something you want to plan slightly ahead. If you know you burn quickly. Stories. And when you know those links, it's even more cool to go visit them afterwards. But as you said, the thing with the Mont Saint-Michel that is neat, but also...
And then at high tide, which is what it is right now in the sim, it's all surrounded by water.
I believe there's a parking place halfway there.
There's a small just before the visions of a monk from a monk that saw Saint-Michel, which is why this fortified city grew and grew, and the history is preserved essentially through thankfully through the UNESCO, which is amazing because this is a huge piece of history. There's a lot of archaeology as well in this area as a result of deconstruction, destruction, reconstruction kind of set. So if you're into that field, look at it. There's a lot of great documents online.
For anyone who's a fan of this, to Chartres for our next waypoint.
We must part ways.
Adieu.
Yes, exactly. So La Bastille was really well. It was also an ammunition depot, so it was not just a prison. It was a lot of utilitarian for the army kind of position. So they also had a whole.
Seeing that my CPU starts to bottleneck, so now I have to upgrade my CPU.
Here's our first touch and go. Just doing a left-hand circuit as I flew right over the airport.
プロペラが止まったまま見えるのはやっぱちょっと残念ですな。
Yeah, I'm 4.5 nauticals out.
It's hard to land. Same with the pit special. It doesn't have flaps. You have to do a flapless landing.
But that's... Where is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm on this.
これも美しい飛行機ですね。
Land this thing without crashing. I'm so bad with the extra.
フラップとかないんだよな、この飛行機。タッチングをやり直し。いいとこじゃの。おお、正面死んだ。おお、壊れんかった。壊れたのかもしれんな、今のは。
So pretty in this region. I remember, being here in real life, just driving through here on the roads.
Didn't do any highways.
Yeah, at least nothing to pay, right?
No, but just not anything classified as a highway, and certainly no toll roads. But I mean,
cool specialties of food and little things. You're like, I never knew that existed. And like you see this little village and they're super proud of it, and it's like really this whole thing, and only the region around it will know it. And of course, France's name, because it hasn't aged, and so what we do is we open it and we leave it for 2-3 days, and then the aroma starts. Then you start getting the actual taste of the cheese, or at least more like what it's supposed to taste. And it's a bit less creamy, and then you have much more of the Roquefort taste. And then you're like, oh, there you go. Now that's more like it. We have to open it, leave it open there, so it can grow.
そういえばマイクロソフトフライトシミュレーター今サマーセールに入ったらしいですよ。これやっぱりあれかな。
Got a top layer of like zero stratus up high, and then some.
Might be the atmosphere then.
おお、マーベリックが抜いてった。84を超えたって言ってたな、そういえば。
In French we call it a bigorneau. In English it's using Google Translate here. They say it's a periwinkle, which is this type of small. Really? gonna do touch and go at LFAX.
Touch and go?
There's really a lot of stuff here. I hope Asobo can handle this because
Really popular patch. And based on what we're seeing in the
Wow,
beta
look at the
feedback forms so far, lots of
使ってないか
good
もしれん
feedback
け
on
ど、
the
ぶつかっ
performance,
た
the
かもしれ
quality.
ん。
the more the merrier.
Yeah. I'm so excited to go to Oshkosh, by the way. It's gonna be a great time. But I wanted to do it myself. I mean, obviously, I would
about
not
10,000
be,
of them.
I would probably not be personally hands-on flying the plane. It's Tyler's plane. He's pilot in command. I would just be second pilot.
Kind of reminds me of Notre Dame. Which
It does
will
look like
probably
Notre Dame, doesn't it? I was thinking the same thing. Especially when you talked about fires and stuff. Obviously,
Yeah.
that was very
Well,
tragic years
お
ago.
お、歴史的建造物な感じが。
Most of those
伝わっ
cathedrals
て
were
くる。
built like a cross, right? So there's
Yes.
then 2 towers. So
お
yeah.
綺麗な建物。
Built. And then, how do you even hold the weight of something while you're building it? Because once it's done, it makes sense, right? You have the roof and you have everything that kind of holds itself together. It's logical, but you don't have everything built when you're building the roof, for example, or certain structures. So it's really cool. Yeah, and these things are obviously very important because this is obviously where you have all the high status events, relicas, and yeah, a lot of big celebrations.
It's pretty incredible too that when these cathedrals were built, they were like 100 or 150 year long projects. So the people who started the design and construction of this cathedral, none of them lived to see it complete.
None of their direct children probably would have lived.
Yeah.
Faithful to that design as much as possible while kind of upgrading in technologies, construction technologies and building frameworks. So it's kind of cool because you see the history of that, of the evolution of building massive buildings and of generating wind, so they could play organ without needing people to just. At least some research has been made onto that side, and yeah, there's better methods now. But yeah, it's funny how you said it was kind of like, what was the last,
Death anyways. So if the balloon crashed and they died, it was thought, well, no big deal. They would have got the guillotine regardless. So who cares? But then the king. Here we have the Eiffel Tower in Paris. And believe it or not, when the Eiffel Tower was constructed in the late 1800s, Parisians hated it. They thought now it is the most iconic structure in all of Paris, arguably in the entire world. For our Japanese viewers, I know Mahama Blend was here flying. In Tokyo, they have the Tokyo Tower, which is an exact
ベルサイユ宮殿だ。わ、
built to
それ
scale
これか、ベルサイユ
of the
宮
Eiffel
殿。
Tower, built in Japan.
ベル
The
サイ
only
ユの
difference
バラじゃ
between the
な
Eiffel
い。
Tower and the Tokyo Tower is the color. Because the Eiffel Tower was built before. This is the easy mode version, flying under the Eiffel Tower. We'll do the hard mode version in a second.
And it's huge.
Yeah, it's bigger than.
通信がきちんとできてないからこの格好するな。
Let's go through it.
シーナリー、何これ。
If we follow this send, oh, actually, I've got an insight now. This is not where I was going to go, but I just saw it, so we'll head here. Here is Sacré-Cœur, a beautiful cathedral in Paris.
でもここ通れるじゃん。
On top of Montmartre.
うひ
Has a
ょ
gorgeous view overlooking pretty much the entire city from up here on the.
Come on, folks.
ー。もうちょっと気
So
を切
when
っ
I
た
was
方
in
がいい
Paris,
と
we
思う
didn't actually get to
な
the。Louvre. We didn't have time, but instead we went to the Musée d'Orsay, which make our way to Le Bourget. I think we're going to pass one of the largest stadiums. Yeah, there it is actually to my 12 o'clock
フ
right
レー
there.
ムレートが厳しい。
Anyone happen to know, is this where PSG
Wahoy.
plays their games? Still an industry event, but one day you can buy a ticket as a member of the public and go. And so again, it's every 2 years it alternates. 1 year it's here in Le Bourget. The next year it's in Farnborough in the UK. And this year happens to be Farnborough's turn, and that's coming up next week. So if you're in the Farnborough area, see if you can get access to that. It's the biggest industry event in the aviation world. And of course, the week after that is Oshkosh, EA.
お疲れ様でした。なんかみんな楽しんどるな。